Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. Welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni, and today I have an amazing guest on my show. And before will introduce you to my guest today, I want to talk to you about one thing: productivity. A lot of people talk about productivity, but do you actually know what it is, what it stands for, what it actually means? Because the word sounds good, the exercise through it sounds good, but are we actually productive? Productive doesn't mean that you are sitting on a desk for 6 hours and you're saying that you're working, but the actual result is zero. That's not productivity. Productivity is something where you're working 3 hours, but you're getting quality work in there consistently. And that too without burning out. That too with good breaks in between. That's what productivity is. And a lot of people try to touch upon this topic, but what has happened is we kind of forget how to actually be productive, the principles of it, how to actually change your life through it, because everything sounds good, but the moment you implement it in your real life, real business, every day, you'll get results. So, like I'm talking to you about productivity, I'm going to take a massive deep dive into the word productivity, understanding what it is, with my special guest today, who is Wilson Obeneme. And I'd like to introduce him. Wilson is a productivity coach who has helped countless professionals break free from overwhelm, reclaim 10 plus hours a week, and finally take action on what matters. If you ever felt busy but not productive, stuck in procrastination loops, or exhausted from hustle culture, this conversation is for you. So, hi Wilson, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, good, good. Thank you so much for having me here. Super excited to just share my thoughts, but importantly, to see you again.
Exactly. So, Wilson, right out of the gate, what do you think productivity is? Let's just address the elephant in the room right now for our viewers.
Oh, very good one. And the funny thing is that a lot of people use the word productivity, but I don't think people have actually thought of a definition to it, like what really is productivity. And I had to check myself, like when I started all of this, what is productivity? So for me, I'll say productivity is your ability to meet your desired goals using the most resourceful way of doing that. So there are two elements to what I just talked about. One is what I call the effectiveness, making sure you meet your desired goals, not a goal. Because you can be meeting a goal or achieving a goal, but it's not what you desire. And that's where what you talked about comes in, where you're constantly busy, you're getting things done, but you're not getting the right things done. Right. So it's not because you're not working, it's not because you're not working hard, but you're working hard, but it's not on the right things. And then the second part of that is efficiency, your ability to get the things you want done, but in the most resourceful manner. So instead of spending 20 hours to do this, can I spend 10 hours to do it? Instead of spending my whole effort, my energy doing that, can I conserve my energy and still get the same results? Instead of spending so much money doing something, can I do it in a cheaper way? So imagine being able to work on what you want in the most resourceful way without spending all your time, all your energy on it. Then you're a productive person. So productivity, once again, is your ability to achieve your desired goals in the most resourceful way. So that's for me, that's a simple definition people can go with.
And so, Wilson, what inspired you to start coaching, like mid-career professionals who you help them with productivity and personal transformation? So, what was that defining moment, aha moment in your own life that you made you feel like, okay, this is something I really want to try. This is something I want to do.
Good question. So back at work, I've always been at least seen as a high performer. I noticed I was working on quite a lot of things, but just like I defined it, or said while defining productivity, I also noticed I wasn't working on my desired goals per se, right? From a work perspective, a bit, yes, but from a personal, on a personal level, I wasn't really hitting the things I wanted to achieve. Even at work, I also struggled to meet some of the things I really wanted to achieve. Not because I wasn't working hard, I was, but I wasn't hitting those goals. And I found out that I was spending a lot of time doing those things. So over time, for me, it was tiring because I was almost burnt out round the clock, like you're putting in energy, but you're not getting the effect of that amount of energy you're putting in. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate with this. And over time, I was able to find a bit of structure. I told myself, okay, I'm not a lazy person, at least to the best of my knowledge and to the best of the knowledge of my friends and even my boss. They're like, you work really hard. So why am I feeling stuck? Why am I feeling like I'm not hitting the goals? Then I had to sit back and start thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm working hard, but I'm not working on the right things. I'm working hard, but I could work smarter. And when I started doing this, I started seeing like massive results in my work and then my personal life, which was very important to me. Um, Over time, I then saw other professionals that had the same challenge. So you hear things like, I feel I can do more. I feel I've been working hard, but I don't feel like I'm making progress. I'm sure you probably had something like that. And that's what I started seeing that around me, like very smart people, people who work hard, but they were feeling stuck in life. They were even feeling stuck in their profession because so much energy expended, so much time, but not just making progress. So I said to myself, okay, let me just try with a couple of people. So informally, I started coaching. And that was my first approach because obviously I had a full-time job and it took a while to really settle in. But what I started doing was informally, I started just putting up a bit of structure and then informally coaching people. And all of a sudden, they were getting massive results like, oh my God, I understand, like I have time. Now I can put my energy in this direction. This is what I really want to work on, even though I have a full-time job, and they were now getting that result. Then over time, more people obviously started reaching out like, hey, can you help me? And that just made sense to put that in a program. And I noticed that most mid-level professionals, after a couple of years working, they go through this phase. So that was my one of the biggest realization. Maybe when you start your career, you're so excited, you're just getting things done. But over time, you start really asking yourself, what am I really doing? Am I making as much progress as I want? So that was what led to creating a formal coaching program.
Well, I love that. And Wilson, I want to talk about something important here. Most people are driven, right? But
Yeah.
they're still unproductive. So, why do you think a lot of people who are driven lack consistency, lack discipline, lack that productivity? Because in your field, when I say mid level managers, they're all driven, they're passionate about what they do.
Yes.
But passionate doesn't pay the bills.
Mm.
Actually, doing the right things at the right time pays the bill. So, according to you, like, how would you defer that, and how would you help someone understand that productivity is not being driven, but it's actually something else? Can you shed light?
Yeah. Very good question. For me, I think the number one reason why achievers, and I'm talking to high achievers, they still struggle with productivity is lack of clarity. Because most of them are not one, they're not fully sure of what they want to do. And then when they are sure, they are not certain on what path to take, right? And even when it seems like they are certain, then the final element comes, fear. And it's funny, right? Because as a high achiever, they're used to getting things done, but most times within their comfort zone. When you move them a bit out of their comfort zone, they're like, okay, I want to do this, but this is not what I'm used to. Where do I even start from? So that's for me, that's like the biggest thing I've seen with high achievers. They have the drive. I'll say they have the beyond the drive. I'll say they have the intention. I think that's even a more appropriate word in this context. They have the intention to really get something done, but one, they are not clear on okay, what exact stuff I want to do. Most of them have like multiple things they want to work on, and by the time they figure out what they want to do, it's like, okay, with my work, with in the office, there's a bit of structure to if you do this, this is the result you get. But for most people outside the office, right, when they are just by themselves, they don't have that clarity of structure and maybe that sense of complete responsibility over themselves. And then finally is the fear element because they are leaving their comfort zone. There's no boss telling you, hey, get this done. This is you taking charge. There's no script to it, right? So generally, it just slows everyone down. They're like, okay, maybe there's this perfect time. Maybe if I learn a bit more, maybe if I do this, and that's where they start procrastinating because it's now maybe I need some other thing. Maybe I need more information. Maybe I need more time. And before you know, they just stay where they are. They don't take action. So usually
Exactly.
that's the phase people will go through.
Exactly, my friend. So, Wilson, we have to run into a quick break right now, and everyone who's watching, we have to run into a quick break. So, like Wilson said, it's all about productivity, and he started to dive deeper. But when we come up again, Wilson will share with us the three pillars of true transformation: clarity, productivity, and optimization, and how they can help you take back control of your time and your life. So, I'll see you back after this break. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing is that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So, your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. I'm your host, Rohit Soni, and today we are here with Wilson Obeneme, and we are driving into the real reasons why professionals struggle with productivity and how to finally break free from that cycle. So, like we discussed with Wilson before, so I'll invite him on the stage again. We were talking about Wilson, the truth about productivity and transformation. So your coaching right now focuses on clarity, productivity, and optimization. Can you break down how each of these phases transforms a client's life according to you, and how you usually help them?
Yeah. Like you said, I have a coaching program, and what I do is take them through a transformational journey across these three phases. The first is the clarity. And what I tell people is to be productive, just like I defined, just like the definition at the beginning, you need to be effective. You need to be clear on what you really want to work on. It's not just working. If not, you'll be working around the clock and you're not making progress. So, the phase one is what we call the clarity navigation, and it's all about defining your destination and understanding the direction to get to that destination, right? Because if you don't know where you're headed, why are you putting so much effort in? If you're not clear on this is where I'm headed, then it's only a matter of time you will get demotivated and you will stop. And I've seen this happen so many times. So maybe there's this cool idea and you just start working on it. But wait a minute, after a couple of months, you're like, why am I even doing this? Mind you, you've put in so much work already, and all of a sudden you need to stop because it no longer aligns to the destination you want, right? So when we talk productivity and when we help our clients, my clients, what we do is we start with clarity navigation, making sure they understand their destination. It's just like the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. It says start with the end, begin with the end in mind. Where are you headed? Your ability to get clarity around that will fuel your motivation to keep going. And then the second thing you get within that clarity segment or phase is okay, now I know where I'm headed. The question is, what routes should I take? Should I take a bus? Should I take a train? Should I take a plane? Should I swim? Right? There are so many options. But when you understand the direction, the best direction to take, then it makes it easier to be consistent heading in that direction, right? Or maybe I'll start with a bus, but after a while, I'll take a train. Like you've defined how you should go about that, and that really helps you with your productivity. The second part is what we call the peak productivity. Now, I tell people there are some things that are fully within your control when it comes to your productivity. Your time is within your control. whether you like it or not. And that's something people need to realize. You are actually in control of your time. You might say, no, it's my job. No, it's you that allowed your job to be in control of your time. You might say, it's your friend. No, you allowed your friend to be in control of your time. But the truth is, 24 hours is what everyone has. And how you spend those 24 hours is really up to you. You decide, right? So in the peak productivity phase, we are looking at what are the elements that are truly within my control that affects my productivity. First is time. The second is energy. Where do I put my energy is up to you, right? It's really up to you. If you might say, no, someone is making me put my energy here. You allow that because there are smarter ways to actually work for your boss and still put your energy in the place you want your energy to be. The third part we look at is focus and attention, right? So I can try to get you focused and attentive, but if you don't want to be focused and attentive, you will not be. No matter what I say to you, no matter how much I try to drive you, focus and attention is within your control. It's you. It's like something within you. And then the final phase is the optimization phase, right? So now we know where you're headed to and how to get there. Secondly, we've helped you understand what is within your control, and then we try to adjust things to make sure that you make the best out of what is within your control. The third part is optimization. And what happens here is, if we are honest, right, we have 24 hours. 24 hours cannot be enough for you to just by yourself probably scale a business. And let's use that for as an example. Um, if you have like 100 clients, no matter how productive and efficient you are as a person, there's a cap to how many things you can handle. And so the question is, how do I maximize other things that are beyond me? Remember, in the second phase, we're looking at things that are within you, within your full control. But in the third phase, now we're looking at, okay, maybe I need a tool to help me automate something because just by myself, I cannot meet up with 100 clients. So what can I automate? That is beyond you. This is where you're optimizing what you've already built, right? So on an individual level, I've already handled my time. Okay, I'm going to spend this amount of time. But now it's time to optimize. I bring in a tool. Then I look at it and I say, okay, even this tool, there are processes that needs human interactions as well. And I cannot be talking to 100 people at the same time. Maybe I need to bring in somebody to help me handle this. So that is where true optimization happens when you start leveraging things that are just beyond you. So once again, first phase is you getting clarity. This is where I want to go to. Second phase is you saying, time, focus, energy, all these things are within my control. This is the best way I'll use it. And then finally is the optimization. How do I work with people and tools to then get that massive result? So that's what productivity, that's what my coaching program is all about. So we take you through the different steps and help you figure out what works for you because uh, maybe 5 hours work for me. That's what is perfect. But for you, 5 hours may not really work for you. So it's not one shoe fits all. So in the coaching program, we then help you understand what really works best for you and helps you overcome your challenges.
So you touched upon a very important thing, Wilson, here. That is, each hour of the day is very important, and you need to know what you have to do with that hour, right? A lot of people just wake up and start scrolling. They just wake up and do those things. So what's your advice to those youngsters? Again, a lot of people are viewers 18 to 20, 34. They're all young, right? Like us. They just wake up. They don't take sunlight. They don't do exercise. Just keep scrolling for the first 2 hours of the day. Then they feel tired and then they sleep again. Pattern keeps on happening. So what would you advise for someone like that who's going through consistent? Again, they'll try to improve, but they're unable to because they're not being confronted with something that you might tell us that will impact them right now.
Very, and you're spot on. That fits into the energy part of what I just described. What people don't understand is what your brain does when it wakes up is very important. When you go on your phone, right, there's this dopamine rise in your brain because all of a sudden you're seeing high volume of things. And take, for example, maybe Instagram or any of these platforms. Once you go on those platforms, all of a sudden your brain, you were sleeping, you just woke up and you go there. Your brain goes from 0 to 100 immediately, right? And that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go gradually. You don't just move from 0 to 100 before you know it, because your brain is already 100 with something like that. By the time you try to come back to something else, you've already expended like your mental strength in the morning. So that's why you notice you wake up in the morning, after looking at your phone, after like 2 hours, your energy dies because you've used, like, you've peaked so fast doing the wrong thing, it's difficult for you to rebuild doing the right thing. So what I'll say to people, I know you're struggling with this. I know you're trying to make an improvement. The first thing I'll tell you is when you wake up in the morning, don't start with your phone. Oh, please don't start with your phone as much as possible. Keep the phone, or let's say don't start with social media. Maybe there are things you can look at on your phone. For me, like my meditation, I use my phone for that and then try to jot some things and read when I wake up, but not social media. So that would be like a simple one for them to start with. Regulate your use of social media, mostly when you start your day. Make sure you've achieved some things first, which probably we'll talk about as we go along the call. Your morning routine, you should have like a very good morning routine that allows you start your day in a progressive manner, and so that you can build on that particular day. So I'll just keep it there as we go. Maybe we'll talk more about those things.
Yeah, I really like it that for someone who is addictive and who cannot start right away with everything, they can just try to avoid social media. Try to achieve something during the day before you actually use this phone for social media purpose. And yes, you can have a business, and you don't have to check mail right away in the morning.
Is it?
So that's one of the things that is very important for each one of us, even founders as well, and anyone, right? So, according to you, Wilson, why do you think like most professionals struggle to take action when they know they need to? And what's the biggest mind shift that you can help them right now with your strategies, your coaching, to shift that and take them away from struggling to taking action? Because the first step is actually taking action. So, how do you help?
Yes. Good one. I think the biggest reason professionals struggle with taking action is outright procrastination, and that procrastination most times is born out of fear or poor prioritization, right? And I've seen this multiple times. People have very good visions for themselves. I don't think anybody who just wants to sit back and not do anything. So most times when I talk with them, I actually understand you have a plan. I understand you want to do things, but they are procrastinating, and that procrastination most times is born out of fear, fear of failure, fear of not being competent enough to take that action consistently, fear of I'm going to blow this up. So why do I even start in the first place? Right? So and you can see this. Somebody says like, okay, I want to become a writer. Ah, what will people think when they see my first article? They'll feel like I'm a loser, right? Ah, I want to start a business. What if it doesn't work? If you haven't even started, the first thing you're telling yourself is, what if it doesn't work? There's no way you take action because there's already this massive fear cloud over you, right? You want to do something, you want to take consistent actions, but you've already told yourself so many negative reasons why it won't work. And then that just blocks everything. So, what I tell people is, okay, what can you do about this? Start small. Like, whatever that big goal is, right? Break it down to small chunks as much as possible. So, let's say you want to write consistently, maybe 30 days on LinkedIn, right? What is the smallest action you can do? Just come up with 5 random ideas. I didn't say 30 because 30 is already looking like a lot. Just come up with, say, within your day, and this can take you less than 10 minutes. And when you do that, you say, okay, achieved. The next day, try to come up with maybe even two. It's not about the number, it's about the consistency. Learn to show up. And each day you learn to show up, that's you become more powerful. You reinforce the idea that you're somebody who shows up, right? So the biggest challenge most times is people procrastinate because of fear, because they don't prioritize well, because they're unsure what to do. And if you want to overcome this, is start as small as possible. Break things down to the barest minimum. But like I said, you need to understand where you're headed first. Where am I going? And then secondly is what direction should I take? And then your plan starts like, okay, what should I do today? Today is ideation. Like just get basic ideas. So that's what I would say to them. Make sure you start with something small enough and then be consistent with it. It's for someone who, for example, you want to build muscles. You don't tell yourself every day I'll spend 3 hours in the gym, and when you've not even started, like it's literally impossible. Your mind cannot comprehend it. Your body cannot keep up. So how about, okay, I want to start working out every day. Okay, how about in the morning? By this time of the day, I'm going to just maybe walk, take a stroll for 5 minutes. I know it sounds like that's too easy, but guess what happens? It gives you the confidence to show up the next day. Then the next day you add maybe 10 minutes. You just keep building on that. So that's what they can start with. And for everybody is different, and for every goal is different. And that's why I always tell people, work with someone who can provide guidance and make you build that confidence. Once you build the confidence, you're good to go.
Action builds confidence, confidence builds consistency gets you disciplined, and discipline makes you productive.
Indeed, indeed, love it.
Right? What we are looking at, just so that we can grow, we can elevate, we can actually take our business life to the next level. Because if I'm in a state, Wilson, where I feel like, oh, I'm not doing something consistently, the first thing I'll do is just do it. Instead of thinking 100 things around me, I'll just do it. Momentum will take me to a place where I'm consistently doing it then. What's your take on that?
Oh no, you're spot on. Taking action builds momentum. It's like physics, right? Once you're able to push beyond the inertia, like we said, that resistance, you just start rolling. Think of yourself. I read a book once, and somebody explained this in a wonderful way, and I'll just share. People think that productivity is you pushing a heavy stone up a mountain, right? And what happens with that is the force is weighing you down, but it's actually the other way. It's you rolling something down the mountain, right? Once you get it moving, it just starts rolling, and you have to, like, it will just keep you going. And that's the thing with momentum, right? And productivity, your ability to overcome that initial struggle and just get something started. Will it go as planned? Maybe not, but you've started something. It gives you that fuel to keep going on. Like, just keep trying, keep going. And that's how you build consistency. Building consistency, there are three levels to it as well. The first is the desire, right? I call them the 3Ds. The first is your desire to do something. You see that phase. Once you have the desire, please, by all means, do something immediately. Once you have the desire to maybe read a book, start. The second phase is what we call the discipline phase. That is where it feels like it's a bit difficult. How do I remain consistent now I've started? That requires heavy discipline. You have to just tell yourself, like, okay, I've done this. I've read chapter 1 today. I'll read chapter 2. I'll read chapter 3. And in that phase, you actually build the muscle to be consistent. And then the third part of it is what we call the delight phase. The delight phase is where, okay, now I actually enjoy this. This is now part of me, right? It's not something I need someone to force me to do. It's something I want to do. It's not, even when I don't feel like, I actually enjoy maybe reading a book now. And that's the delight phase. So in that phase, what's happening is you don't need people to push you anymore because you're enjoying it. And I'm sure, Rohit, you went through these three phases when you started a business, because the first phase is like, oh, I'm excited, and you started. The second phase is, oh, it's not as easy as I thought, but I'll keep going. And then you're in the third phase where, oh, I just enjoy doing this. Like, I truly enjoy doing it. So even if I have all the money in the world, I will most likely still be doing something similar because I just enjoy it. So that's what I'll tell people to do. Once you have the desire, start. It builds momentum for you to overcome that barrier and build discipline. And it's only a matter of time it becomes a delight and you enjoy it.
So, uh, I really like it when you said you do one thing and then it builds the momentum. Even when I started out in business, I felt okay. I have just one client. I'll just keep working on this. I'm excited. But I thought, okay, what if I would have five? And then when you get five, then you actually start struggling a little bit just to keep a pace.
Exactly.
Because as a contractor, you want your clients to be happy. Okay, you actually want to give them results, because if you're not doing it for that, what are you doing? Money is actually secondary. You do it once you get results. So it's all about elevating yourself, right? In the pressure, in those environments. And that's what productivity is all about. You got to be productive in cases where you feel you can't do it, but you actually do it because now you're structured in a way, your mind is structured in a way that you, no matter what, you're going to get results, right? So that's something like I'll really take away right away. Okay. So Wilson, like I said, we have to run into another break right now. But after the break, when we'll come back, we'll talk about why traditional productivity hacks don't work and what actually helps create real lasting change. So stay with us. Me and Wilson will see you soon. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing is that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So, your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni, and most people try to improve productivity by reading books and watching videos, but it is still don't take action. And today, with Wilson, like we were discussing, we'll talk why self improvement efforts fail and why the real improvement is actually having a mentor who can guide you or you can support you, or it's all about taking or just having a system in place. So Wilson will shed light more on that. So Wilson, like we were discussing, let me have you on the stage. Why do you think like these self-improvement efforts fail, like watching videos, reading books? What do you think that can actually help people be more productive? These students, these kids, or even professionals like us who watch podcasts and stuff like this. I want people, if they're watching this podcast, a real strategy right away, immediately, like you have shared earlier.
Mm. Oh, good. Why does self-improvement fail? Truthfully, some people have been able to crack it, but those people, there are very few that I will tell you. Very, very few. And even though they were able to crack it, it took them a while to crack it. So I think one of the main reasons why it fails is the lack of accountability, right? Let's face it, you probably have so many things you're juggling, right? Maybe school, work, business, family, volunteering. There are so many things you get to do. Like our life is not just one dimensional. So there are a lot of things you get to do. And when you come up with a new goal or you want to take action, one is without proper accountability, most people find it difficult to take those actions consistently. And that's why it's always good to have, I always tell people, an accountability partner, a community, a coach, or just something that can help you show up. Because as humans, most times, if we don't have people checking up on us, we are not driven enough to do certain things. So that's like one key reason why self improvement journeys, they don't work, because you start, because no one is checking on you, you stop, right? um, Another reason why that happens is because most self improvement journeys are not very structured, right? The reason why people go to school is not because they cannot particularly learn things by themselves or for themselves, but it's just put a way of putting structure to what they are learning, because there's an exact information or body of knowledge you need to become whatever you want to become, right? Maybe someone like let's say it might even be a business school, right? It doesn't have to be formal education or even an apprenticeship. That's because the person who you're working with or you're learning from has a structured way, a structured and tested way to take people from point A to point B. And if you want to do this by yourself, you will make a lot of mistakes. It will take you more time, and most likely you might be demotivated and you just stop, right? So that's why most self improvement journeys fail, right? It's not because it cannot be done, but you will need to be a highly driven person, like very, very driven. You don't need anybody to wake you up in the morning or to keep you accountable, because you're just that person. And very few people, I can tell you that for free, right? And I know a lot of people, but top of my head, I'll say I know just maybe five people who are able to do that. And trust me, I know a lot of people, because it's rare to get a lot of people to be self starters who just take action by themselves without anyone pushing them. So one thing you can do today is, if not for anything, I'll tell you, find a way to get accountability. Mostly if you're very excited about it, find a way to get accountability. And one of the best way to do that is to have a professional work with you, or somebody who is also a self-starter. Because if your accountability buddy or partner is someone who is also not keen on these things, trust me, it won't work. It will just be frustrating for you and for them. The second thing you want to do is find a structured way to get things done. Build routines, build habits that will enable you get things done consistently, right? And one way to build that is also working with a coach or working with an expert, because some habits, people feel like you just pick up habits and you drop them. It's not that it's not that easy. If not, everyone will be showing up every day, right? Because that's what you want to do. But building habits and routine, it takes time and it needs a lot of guidance. It needs a lot of reflection. It needs a lot of hand holding to actually get things to change those habits. Except, like I said, you are a natural self starter, accept that, which is also very rare. So one is get accountability, get a bit of structured, maybe structured knowledge, structured guidance, structured habits, and finally, just understand the real reason why you want to be taking that action. I think it helps. There's a fuel, there's a drive that comes when you understand the real reason why you want to be doing the things you're doing. For example, I want to start a business, right? The question is, why do you really want to start a business? If you don't understand that fully, you might struggle at some point, even though you're a self-starter. Because if your goal is just to make money, uh, starting a business is not the only way to make money, right? There are other ways you can make money without starting a business per se. If for one is you can work as an employee, you make money, but it might not just give you enough money. But if probably your reason is to solve a particular problem, right? And by solving that problem, you will make so much money. That gives you another drive to get things done. So, my simple advice for you today is if you're someone who is struggling with getting things done consistently, or with your self improvement journey, you're finding out that you're not making it. For example, someone told me the other day he has like how many courses he has bought, but he hasn't completed any. And the clear reason we figured out is accountability, right? So him joining the program, or preparing to join the program, is okay. I know that I'll get accountability every time, right, to get this done. And secondly, there'll be a structure around. Okay, this is what you need to do today. When you come back from work, you should do this stuff. These are the your routines you should keep up with to maintain your energy to get things done. Yeah, and I think those are two easy things you can easily start with. And then finally, just understanding the why. Why am I even doing this? Why am I taking that course? Do I really need to take that course to achieve what I want? Most people, they just buy courses because they're fancy and everybody's doing them. But if you understand, like, okay, by taking this course, I will gain knowledge that will help me save time, then it makes it worthwhile. In fact, you're actually energized to go ahead and do it. So those are the three things I will say you should consider doing from today for you to be able to now improve on yourself generally, and continue on that journey.
Yeah, I really like it. And like we were discussing something, okay, about you, Wilson. So you have coached 20 plus professionals and your clients reclaim 10 plus hours weekly. What's the most surprising transformation you have seen in your own coaching journey? Tell me more about
Oh yeah, the most I'll say impactful, not just surprising, is the mindset shift. Like when people go through the program, they literally become they see the world from a different lens all of a sudden. With one of my clients, and by the time we were done, the first thing he said is, I can't believe I actually have control of my time. I always felt like somebody else it was my job dictating my time for me. But after we went through this process, like it has changed my idea towards what time is and how I can actually manage my time better. And another one that recently happened is so I have this amazing client. She's just wonderful. She has like multiple degrees, multiple job experiences across different continents, and she recently got this promotion. So she's like this managerial position. And all of a sudden, guess what? This imposter syndrome just came to her. And she's like, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. And all of a sudden, that will affect your productivity when you feel like you're not good enough. Right. And then we started the program. And I kid you not, within 2 weeks, she came back saying, let's go. Like her mind was so transformed that she was like, nah, this I'm going to do it. And she had other goals she wanted to work on, right? Because most people, like I said, which is one of the things that fueled this my transition, or my going into coaching, is beyond work, people have other things they enjoy doing. But most times they just spend so much time working, which is not a bad thing, but they forget other things. And it's later in their life they're like, oh, I never got to do this. So for me, is okay, let's get you up and running. And with this client, she had like, if I remember, almost 10 things she wanted to do. And I told her, that's your productivity coach. I'm not here to get you to work more hours. That's not my job. So I told her, like, these 10 things, they are wonderful, but we need to prioritize because you can't do all these 10 things with a full-time job. It's unrealistic. And that's what I don't know if coaches say that to their people, right? As a coach, you can come to me and tell me, hey, Wilson, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, no, you don't have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you cannot do it with your current commitment. How about we prioritize? Let's start with one. And it comes back to what I said earlier about breaking things down into what you can do and then start doing it, build momentum. And by the time we were done with her prioritization and saying, okay, here are the top three things we need to work on. You can start with this. This is the low hanging fruit. Let's start with this. Can you believe in 2 weeks' time, she came back and she's like, Coach, right now, I like I'm smashing things. I feel like I can take more things. All right. Like I understand because you're still building momentum, your confidence is growing, but we will still regulate what you do, right? Because we don't want you to burn out. You still have something you're doing. So for me, the biggest shift is always the mindset. Once I see this all the time. They come in as people who are behind in life, lacking confidence. In fact, they see themselves as people who will never achieve beyond their job. But after the program, they are feeling confident about life. They are working on the things they want to work on. They are showing up consistently and they have full control of their time. For me, that's just a big shift that each time I see it, it gets me. Sometimes it gets me emotional, to be honest. But it's just that's what we do, and that's why we do what we do. Help people do the things they need to do in the most efficient way. So I hope that that answers your question.
Yes, that did answer my question. And again, we are running a little bit out of time. But what we're going to do right now is, Wilson, we're going to run into another break. And when we'll come back, Wilson will reveal us the number one habit shift that changes everything and how you can start implementing it today. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be absolutely important. This last part is going to be the most important for you. I'll see you right back. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done for you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing is that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So, your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. I'm your host again, Rohit. And now let's talk about real transformation, the habits and systems that truly make a difference. And Wilson will share right on it right away. So I'll have him on the stage again. And Wilson, we were talking about real transformation and the number one habit shift that changes everything for your clients and, according to you, changes habits, routines, and system. So what do you think that is?
So I'll say the one habit shift people should do is and this is very easy. It's your reviews. Just review, right? I know it sounds basic, but it helps a lot. So ideally do a daily review of your day. What am I supposed to do today? Right? And at the end of the day, did I do it? But that might be too frequent. One review I tell people to always do, even if you don't do any other review, do your weekly review at the beginning of the week. Just take 30 minutes, only 30 minutes. Sit down and ask yourself, what are the things I want to do this week? Right? What are the top three things I want to achieve this week? Right? And those will not be they will not be the only things you get to do, but those are the things you will prioritize and tell yourself that by all means, I will achieve these things by the end of the week. Right? So the habit, the weekly review and planning, it's for me, I'll just keep it short. It's like the biggest impact I've seen across my clients because before they start the program, most of them don't actually check where they spend their time and what they do in a week. It's just like, okay, I have maybe if you have a work calendar. That's like the best way to even try to say, okay, this is what I did this week. But if you don't, most people don't do this. It's quite simple, but I'll tell you it's very effective. Say maybe on a Sunday or a Monday morning, just 30 minutes. Ask yourself, okay, this is a new week. What are the top three things I want to achieve this week? Right? So even while doing every other thing, I'm making sure that these top three things are in front of me. And then at the end of the week, ask yourself, did I achieve this? Why did I not achieve this? What can be better? And then you can even roll it to the next week. So just because of our time, I'll keep it at that. Just do your reviews, weekly reviews. If not, if you don't do a daily, a monthly, a yearly, or quarterly, it's fine. But you see your weekly reviews, take it seriously. It will change your productivity forever.
And Wilson, I completely agree with the part where habits are actually important. And I have heard something from a book called Atomic Habits, right? It
Yes.
usually takes 21 days to fill it up, 66 days to make it
Yeah.
consistency, and 90 days to make it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Agree with this.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And by the way, I have the book here. I read it as well. Like I always tell people who come on my program, one way or the other, find a way to read this book. Right. I know it might not be easy, but you will learn a lot from that book. So starting something is always difficult, but the more you do it, right, it just becomes second nature. And by the time you build a system, and there's something he talked about in this book, maybe I'll just reference it. For something to stick, most people often focus on the goal, right? So let's use, for example, you want to lose weight, right? That's the goal. In the next 3 months, it's going to be summer, and you know the summer body myth. So you want to look good for the summer. Also, you're getting into summer, and you want to lose maybe 5 pounds, right? That is a goal. But the question is, what is the system to ensure you lose 5 pounds? It's like, okay, every week I will go to the gym twice and work out for 45 minutes, right? That is you building a system around making sure you achieve your goal, right? But he talked about something else, which becomes a lifestyle, which is what you mentioned. The last part is, okay, now my goal is to lose 5 pounds. Now I go to the gym 2 times a week, 45 minutes workout. The question is, what lifestyle am I building? Who am I becoming by doing this? And this is where most people don't think about it. And that's why um, what will happen is after the summer, right, you've achieved your goal, which is looking good for the summer, most people stop working out because even though they've built a routine, that routine might not have stuck with them. But the last part of that transformation is saying, okay, I know I want to lose weight. I know I want to have a good summer body, but importantly, I want to be a healthy person. I want to be somebody who, throughout like the rest of my life, I am healthy. So what that has done now is first, it started with just a goal of being ready for the summer, but secondly, now you've built a lifestyle or like a routine, work out 2 times a week, 45 minutes. But importantly, is now I have become somebody who actually works out and is healthy. So even though I don't have summer body goals anymore, my mind has changed from just summer body goals to this is who I am now. I'm somebody who works out. I'm someone who, and what will happen is even if you're not working out, you will prioritize. Maybe I can take an elevator from the first floor to the second floor. But as a healthy person, what would a healthy person do? If you read the book, I think you'll find this there. The healthy person will take the stairs because it's no longer about just losing weight, but it's my mind has changed, my identity has shifted as well. So yeah, it's spot on. That's a way to build habits, right? Start with the goal, build a system around it, and then become somebody, build an identity from it, and then it sticks most times.
And I think, Wilson, the more you do it and the consistently you do it, your self image rises. If
Yeah.
you take an action right away and you don't give up,
Yep.
your self image rises. And when your self image rises, everything you do elevates. Now you're feeling good within yourself, one about you, you respect yourself more, and then now you're respecting what you were doing initially, which you were procrastinating for, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I really love this idea of consistently doing it, and actually, it actually is all here, right? You just have to fool it sometimes. Make it. Just tell him to do it. Okay. Don't listen to this all the time because if you listen to this all the time, you'll be eating burger and watching Netflix all day. So I want our viewers to really take a deep dive into what Wilson shared today. And Wilson, for our viewers, how they can connect with you, And tell us a little bit more about your coaching in these last couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can take it from there.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. How can you connect with me? I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can reach me on Instagram as well, but most likely if you reach me on LinkedIn, I'll respond a bit faster. So for me, over the years, I've developed like this structure, just like I've talked about, that has helped people move from not having time to reclaiming 10 plus hours per week, procrastinating on their goals to actually consistently meeting their goals. Um, and some other things like changing the mindset, all of that plays into productivity. And currently I have a coaching program. It's a one-on-one coaching program. I also have the self-paced part of it, if that's what you're interested in. The coaching program, currently it's the way I've structured it is each of those phases. Remember, I have 3 phases, right? And depending on what you want, you can maybe we can focus on phase one for a month, right? It's usually a 12 weeks program divided into 4 weeks each for each phase. So first phase is 4 weeks, the next phase 4 weeks, the third phase 4 weeks, and so that's how my program is structured. It just helps you move from not having clarity to gaining clarity, not having time to gaining enough time, energy, and focus. And then how you can use tools like AI and work with other people to actually improve your productivity. So that's how it's structured. And I look forward to you reaching out to me, and we can talk more about the cost and pricing and all of that.
Thanks a lot, Wilson, for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you, my friend, here. And I really want to share with you that it has been an incredible conversation. And like a lot of people come, and I feel like the most important thing that we want to offer to our viewers is real strategies, actionable strategies. If they get actionable strategies, maybe they might make a change in their life. So that's what we're looking at from. So really appreciate you for being on the show. Thanks a lot, Wilson.
Thank you, and thanks for all you do. It's always a pleasure seeing you and working with you. Yeah,
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. So that's a wrap to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show again. I'm your host, Rohit Soni. I really want to talk to you about before we go. That is, Wilson just shared things about productivity, but there's absolutely zero things going to change in your life if you don't actually follow what he shared and if you don't make notes out of it. And I keep saying, keep making notes. If you're having an episode, you're learning some things, make notes. Because if you don't, what happens is you forget and the subconscious comes in the way. So I really want to make sure each and every one or person who watches the show make notes. Because if you do, it's going to help you in some way, shape, or form. And like I shared initially in this conversation, productivity needs to be studied better. You have to actually have consistency, discipline, all these things to perform at the peak level. And if you actually want to take your business life to the next level, you need it immediately. Everyone talks about habits, but you have to build it. You have to get up. If you're scrolling phone all the day, it's not going to work out for you no matter what, and you cannot expect results out of it. Things that you're working on will consistently give you the same results based on your habits. If you change your habits, see the results then. And come back to me and tell me in 20, 30 days how you feel about yourself because you're, like we discussed in the show, your self-image increases. So everyone who's watched this show, I really appreciate you for sticking it until the end. If you like this show, do like, subscribe, and share. Share with someone who need it. Share with yourself. Understand. Share with your friends as well. Because most of the times we actually are like our peers. If we change, they change. Build that visibility for each other. Create that intention that everyone can change and lift each other up. So that's the message from the show. It's a wrap. Thanks everyone for being on the show. I'll see you in the next episode. Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute. I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.